to another edition of the ComicCorp Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Chad Bordo. And joining me, as always, is the glorious one himself, Marcus Green. Marcus, how are you, sir?
Good, man. This should be a fun show.
So we're kicking right off into things. We got 4 TV shows to review, an entire season of My Hero Academia. That's for the unenlightened, My Hero Academia, or I don't know how to say it in Japanese. I'm not going to because I'm not a fucking weeb.
Weeb.
We also got Stargirl, Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
We got new Batwoman, Archie-Verse being canceled. It's like Boomer and Sky High. Side kick. Sorry. Needed El Drink.
Oh, damn it! We need that sequel, man.
Right?
For
like
series.
I mean, granted, Danielle Panabaker's on, pushing 40, closer than she is pushing 30, and Kurt Russell's like 68.
Yeah.
It's like
in a
bringing
lot
back
of
his
ways,
teachers?
it feels like. Yeah, in a lot of ways, it feels like Stargirl is like the offshoot of it.
Essentially, the only difference is that main villain was actually competent. She knew what was, she won. Like, think about it. If it wasn't for Will developing a second set of powers that no one accounted for, the villain of Sky High would have won. She chucked his ass out of the school.
Yeah, that reveal was great about the baby backfiring laser thing. That was great. It was like, oh my god, I made out with an old lady.
I forgot about that part.
That suit was pretty good too. That suit she damn near was a Power Ranger villain by the look of her.
Yeah. She, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is definitely on every one of my bucket lists.
Now that I think about it, she really could be like a nice partner for Shiva.
She kind of looks like Shiva's mother, almost, in terms of the aesthetic. She had the big cape, tight form-fitting attire, a penchant for destruction and annihilation. She also hates her father, who's also not really her father. Daddy's little angel. Then she hits him.
Oh.
Ow, ow, ow.
The Finster-esque character, I guess.
Yeah, played by Jim Rash, the incomparable Dean Pelton. I do so love that movie.
That is the casting that, like casting real life twins as somebody with a duplicity power, if you will. Oh, shit.
Oh, the cheerleader chick was actually twins?
Yeah, they're real life twins. Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. I thought they just Lindsay Lohan'd it. See, Marcus, I understand we're all being socially conscious and we're evolving, but man, I do miss the days where the biggest controversy in my life was that Lindsay Lohan took a job from a twin. Right? Like when Parent Trap came out and she was going to play the other sister, everyone's like, you could have cast twins, and I'm just like, fuck the Olsens.
or the other one for like specifically black people. That's not Aunt Viv.
Oh yeah. I always liked the second Aunt Viv. I think it was because she was shorter, so I found her less intimidating. The first Aunt Viv was just always mean. I always felt like I was going to get yelled at for, like, walking in my house with my shoes on by a TV mom. Like, walking in my room with my brother's watching Fresh Prince, but it's, like, from the first 3 seasons, and I see tall Aunt Viv, and I got my shoes on. I just want to be like, sorry, Aunt Viv. I didn't mean to leave my shoes on. I mean, she can't yell at me. She's a fictional character, but that's how I felt. She had a big old presence about her. Not at all surprised that she and Will Smith didn't get along because they had big old presences with one another. Still, the best was what was the little sister's name?
Ashley.
Ashley, yeah, her arcs were always the best because everyone totally overreacted. Like the episode where Will thought she was gonna have sex.
Uh-huh.
Was it Will or was it Carlton who dropped to their knees in the outskirts and like dragged themselves against the linoleum out of the house?
Oh no, that was Carlton. That's all. What is this damn scene?
You just see him like he like fucking dog paddles out of the fucking kitchen, and then like the door opens in the student union. He's running out of it.
Just no.
He runs through his pool house, and like then he's like in like the middle of the street somewhere. And then like you see Will and him like hug out in front of the sets. And
that show, the mind your business scene that we love.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Ashley dancing when he first came to the house on the first episode.
That's one of my favorites.
What the episode where Ashley actually sung in the store.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously anytime Carlton did it is not unusual. That everybody knows the all-time best scene of the show, the Why He Don't Love Me Man.
Mm-hmm.
But the Carlton on the knees and Will passing out in church.
My low-key second favorite is when Uncle Phil goes to the pool hall and hustles everyone.
Oh, yeah. He's Carlton with him like he's Bruce Wayne and that's Alfred. I love it.
Oh yeah, Carlton, my stick. And he opens it up and he presents it to him. Like, it's like a scene out of fucking Coming into America with like they're in fucking Zoomunda.
Or you go another honorable mention. Let my people go. To the jail, just randomly.
Oh man, that show is timeless. I love that early '90s aesthetic. Like everything's vibrant. It doesn't matter what time of the year. It feels like it's summer. Like you feel like you're in a Super Soaker commercial. Perpetually. It's 14 below and snow's on the ground, but you got neon colors everywhere. That fucking... It wasn't even a baseball cap that he wore in that first episode. I don't even know what it was, but it was like a beanie with like an upright lid sewn onto it. It wasn't even a baseball cap. It's just weird looking, and I'm like, yes, I want that. With them big old Tom Cruise aviators. I'll be the coolest kid in 1990. I wasn't.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a show. Let's talk about shows, though. We got a lot of shows. So, starting off with Stargirl, or as I like to call it, How I Met the Worst Mistake of My Life. So, I'm going to be very harsh, but I want to be very clear. I'm enjoying this show. I'm very concerned that at one point we're going to, I guess, jump the shark is no longer the appropriate term. Give birth to a sex demon baby? I think that's a fair new term to describe a show that has leapt into a new realm. Doom Patrol, what the fuck was that episode? But I don't think we're there yet, and I don't think we're going there because every time we kind of see the Courtney screw up, we see far more bigger ramifications, and it kind of makes me think about, Marcus, do you remember how season 1 of iZombie ended?
Let's see. I'm thinking that's the reveal with Peyton, right?
No, maybe. My more specific point was that Major got shot.
Oh yeah.
And her brother got blued up.
Oh yeah, that was it. Okay.
That's how I'm feeling this season's gonna end. I think Mama Stargirl is gonna get icicled. Maybe not die, but I could definitely see this being, like Archie's dad in Pop's diner.
Yeah, at this point though, that whole getting icicled could mean a couple of different things. But specifically at the end of the season, yeah, because at this point, specifically at the end of this episode, the freaking cat's out of the freaking bag.
How did she have an orgasm, sir? I don't see any toys. Well, obviously, an icicle. It melted. So, first and foremost, let's talk about Mr. Icicle. I'm rooting for him. I'm on
Hey
his
man, I'm
team.
right there. I'm right there with you, man. I really like this guy. The swag, they casted great with this role. Like to me, I was watching somebody else review the episode, and they said it right. Right now, he is invaluable to this show.
Yes. Keep him around. I don't even know who he is as an actor. This is really the first thing
Yeah.
I remember seeing him in. But my God,
Yeah.
it's not charming in a psychopathic way either. Like, you know, like in certain shows that we've watched, like for me, like One Tree Hill and the OC come to mind. He's genuinely a good guy. Like, he's not a supervillain because he wants the world to end. He wants to fix the world. He's a good father. He was a good husband. He's a good man. You know, except for the whole killing on occasion and that whole, you know, killing the kid thing. Like, okay, I'll let it slide. Get it? Because the truck slid in the kid. I'm terrible. But, like, you know that he's only doing things because he feels that that's the only resolution to a problem. He's not deliberately going out to try to hurt people. When he says he wants to fix Blue Valley, I don't disbelieve him. So I find him to be very endearing. The Japanese scientist who turned into a snake monster, he's pure evil.
Yeah, he's a complete dickbag. Although I do appreciate his line delivery and his tone specifically with Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of meat on that bone that's yet to be cooked, that we hopefully get to specifically with the mom backstory and potentially things that he did or neglected to do with her, which I think specifically this two-parter more than anything else, because I'm already a full-on Icicle fan. Sorry, that's just where it's at right now.
We are Team
And
Icicle.
probably will. Yeah, and I'm sympathizing with Cindy because they've moved her out of the complete cunt for no reason zone, and now you're starting to see some of the method behind the madness, if you will.
She's no longer a
helps.
phenomenon, if you will.
Yeah, and that's a good actress to keep that, keep that going, because what they essentially did is two-parter. They basically was stripping away her comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the boyfriend, which we found out more business than pleasure. But all these things are served to, I guess, provide pillows for her insecurities.
And the young woman who plays her is actually our woman crush for the week.
No.
That pleated skirt. Mwah. She's 24, I can say that.
Oh, thank God, because I was about to ask her. Like I know the lead is like, I know Breck is what, like 21,
19,
and a lot
I
of these
think.
shows specifically, I mean, we used to like watching Riverdale and stuff. A lot of these actors have to play younger, which is okay.
Fucking Archie's already 40 in real life.
He's 40 still to dye his damn hair like that. But yeah, I mean, deservingly so. And if they they keep doing that a certain pattern with her stepmom, she's next on the Woman Crush Wednesday.
I mean, jumping the gun for next Wednesday, but yup. I don't know, man. Like, listen, if I was married to a beautiful woman, I would never be tempted as long as our relationship was really good. And it seems like Pat and Barbara? Yeah. Because the little kid always says Barbara. At least that's what I'm thinking he says. Pat and Barbara seem like they're on good terms. You know, maybe not anymore. But, like, if I was a single dude doing that and she did that, I don't care if your husband's a snake villain. We about to do the hippity-dippity, and I'm about to see if I can turn into the Flash afterwards, because I need to get going.
Right. Oh, yeah, the classic Skeet and Skedaddle. Yeah,
The husband comes home through the secret lair. There's a me-sized hole in the wall. She's fixing her skirt.
It's like, what happened here? Like, oh, just a neighbor came over and unclogged our pipes.
He plumber came over and really gave my system a good flushing.
The snake to drain. Yeah.
Why didn't you just call me? I am a snake.
I was so happy for that thing because I genuinely thought she was a fembot.
Right? Like I wasn't on the fembot wagon, but like she's there against her will, or at least she's there for a specific reason. So when she started making that move on Pat, and like she was not being subtle at all with the whole like getting in between his legs and like putting her like calf against his lower leg. Like, what? And then Pat, like, nearly gives himself a concussion. That's a hard woman to turn down, so I give Pat all the credit in the world.
Yeah, that homemaker outfit was really, that's, not everybody can pull that off, but she was nailing it. This is another reason why me and you couldn't necessarily write none of these shows, because in that moment, I'd have old dude pop up and be like, that's not a part of your diet regimen.
Have you been drinking your Ovaltine, Mrs. Smith? Like, I fully understand that the 1950s were not great for a lot of people, but Marcus and I would be all right with the 1950s. just the aesthetic alone on the women. Thumbs up.
It's this weird interracial guys making a lot of house calls around the neighborhood.
Oh, Jesus. Never give us a time machine. We would be giving Tupperware parties a whole new meaning. So, skis aside, the Justice Society suck at their jobs.
Yes, they do.
I do like that the new Dr. Midnight, what's her name? Susan? Kaylee? Bianca?
Is it Yolanda?
No, Yolanda's the new Thundercat. Wait, what? No, that's not right. I wish that was on purpose.
I got the new Thundercats. Freaking the new Panthro got my outfit.
Panthro? You look different. Wait, am I the only one who thought Panthro was black? I can't be the only one, right?
Let's see, what is her name? Her name is Beth. There it is.
Beth has the only human reaction in the whole show. She goes down the dark, mysterious corridor. Here's Grundy, and she's like, nope.
Yeah,
my
she didn't need the
wonderful
goggles.
little friend. I appreciate her.
Yeah, she didn't need the goggles to tell her that was a no-go. Between that, her interactions between her and Pat in the house, and specifically because they've done a good job, because her and the little brother have come off very annoying at times. Specifically her. But they had this great moment between her and our man. Yeah, between her and him. Rick, when she was like, she literally about to like got in her face, and she was like, "You just hurting, and all you want to do is just hurt other people so you can justify it, don't you?" It's just like that was a real good moment coming from her, and I hope we get to see more of that, because she does seem like she's like the really level-headed one of the team.
Well, I think it's gonna be one of those things where she spends her whole time watching that, so she sees things. You know. I forget what show or movie I heard that on, but it was a great line, like, you see things, don't you? And you're like, well, when you spend the whole time just watching, you tend to. I, for one, have never found the little brother annoying. I hate to say this, but, like, literally, if you knew me at that age, that was me. Mark is just nodding. Makes all the sense in the world. Now I understand why you never had a lot of friends. But, like, I like the moments where they're a family, or at least they're trying to be. I find those very endearing.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think for me, it's because, like, some of his earlier stuff, specifically his dialogue going back and forth with Pat or the girl, it seemed like it was just something that the plot needed for him to do, as opposed to that moment he had at the game or the moment he legitimately had with Courtney. Felt like genuine character moments.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like, oh, okay, we need a little bit of levity here, we need a little bit of nonsense here in the house. Like, who else better to do it than the kid? We'll flesh him out later. But now they're kind of getting to certain beats, and again, like Cindy, there's method to his madness as well. Like his whole relationship with Pat, and the whole idea of it's kind of, you know, you don't know what you got till you're losing it. Now he's starting to see how much he kind of needs his dad because he feels like that relationship is kind of getting distant.
Mm-hmm. He's discovering the idea of jealousy. I have a feeling he's going to end up with Alan Scott's ring.
Or the pen.
Or the pen, yeah. See, my thought with the ring was because it's an imagination device, but so is the pen technically. So, yeah, either or. Yeah. I could definitely see him as the new... I forgot what the name of the dude who holds the pen is. It's not very good. Mr. Lightning, I think, or something like that. It's not good. So we got a great little moment with the little brother and Courtney when Courtney gets home from the hospital after the quote-unquote car accident. Poor Pat. Fucking destroying his car to sell a lie. Impressive conviction, though.
Yeah.
I got to give him that. So the basic crux of the episode is that, you know, Courtney got her ass kicked by Shiv. So she comes back home. She's on bed rest. The mom believes that she's been in a car accident. And Pat's, he's done with the lying. And he wants to tell her, and he's about to, but you can tell she's kind of not in the mood for his shit at the moment.
Yeah.
So she goes to bed, and Pat kind of just meanders about outside of the room. But later on in the episode... Shiv comes by. What's her real name?
Cindy.
Cindy comes by. And you think she's going to, you know, go like, oh, I know who you are. But she's like, I really need a friend right now. And, like, they have, like, bonbons on her bed or something like that. And you're thinking, like, maybe, Cindy doesn't actually know who she is. But, like, as she's leaving the room, she drops the 180 and goes, oh, and I like your staff, by the way. And, like,
Stargirl.
Breck, I think her name is Breck. Breck sells this so well. She's just like, her eyes, like, she's kind of like cautious the entire time, but when she says it, her eyes go wide and her mouth just agapes. Doesn't deflect, doesn't defend, doesn't say anything to the contrary. She just kind of sits there. And she's like, you know, don't worry, though. I'm not going to tell my dad. But I'll see you around, you know, after I kill your friends. And, you know, that prompts her, you know, busted up body and all to grab the staff and go and attack Shiv in her room. Ballsy move. But then we also get to see baby Brainwave show up, and he's like, what's going on here? I'm so confused. And then he finds out who Stargirl is. I'm going to admit this. I fast forward through all that dude shit this week. I'm sorry. I don't need 10, you know, inconsecutive minutes of him going, my head. Yeah, we get it. Yeah, he's got the brain issues.
Specifically with that scene with the pill, that was like, God damn it, it's you doing it. It's like, freaking okay, Professor X, it's you.
Professor Sex, you mean?
But it's gonna be interesting seeing where he goes. I'm not necessarily over the moon with everything going on with him, specifically that last part. And I wish Courtney would have, the minute she figured out, like, oh my God, he can read my mind. Make the staff glow really bright and get the freak up out of there.
I have a foolproof method if I ever run into a telepath. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Okay. We legitimate brothers in another life, because you know what was mine, right?
What?
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Yes, and there they are, standing in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
Standing in the middle of the head. Like, who the freak is Mufasa? Oh, no, I said Mufasa.
¿Qué pasa? Yeah, I would just straight up start like thinking of the lyrics to like Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious or like something else from that movie. Doe, a deer, a female deer, and like the guy's like, "Why are you singing Sound of Music in your head?" Maybe I can finally get the lyrics. We didn't start the fire correct if I run it through my brain only.
Just something simple from another movie we love. Who? Ha! Oh yeah! Who? Ha!
Oh yeah! Everywhere I go, people want to know who we are. Actually, if I sing that one in my head, the guy will know who I am. I'll out myself on that one. So we also find out that Papa Snake's not too happy with his little daughter Snake, and he's all like, "You cost yourself a seat at this table." But what I thought was interesting was when Beth found out the little entrance, the keypad for the entrance was 1999, which was the release date of the first Star and Stripe book that debuted Courtney Whitmer as a character.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you said that because they always seem to do really good Easter eggs like that. They're real good for that on the Flash as well, with certain homages to the comics and whatnot. But I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about the significance of what that specific date was. So I'm glad they threw that in there. That's good.
Yeah. I didn't know for sure, but I have the novelization, not the novelization, the trade paperback of Star and Stripes. So I was like, well, I want to see when the original book came out. So I started flipping through it, and it said 1999. I was like,
Nice. And I don't know why we'd be surprised at all. I mean, it is Jeff Johns. So.
Yep. I mean, his sister was in a photo with Breck. Is it Breck Rollins? That doesn't sound right.
Basinger?
Breck Basinger. There it is. She was in a photo with her in the first episode of the show.
Yeah.
Like, boom, sister. I was like, that's cool. So, the episode ends with the snake people taking Shiv to the underground. She'll see Crazy Jane there, I'm sure. Then we see the baby Brainwave running away, and kind of everything's just kind of broken at the moment. How will they get through this? Well, we know there's going to be a season 2. Already announced. Not surprised. It's going to be on the CW. Not surprised. I'm not really concerned with it being on the CW because the show is kind of made for the CW already, just in terms of like the focus being on a young girl. You know, it's in a little town that people can relate to. You know, you get a little annoying brother. Like this show is like CW 101. So I'm not surprised at all. It should get a ratings boost next season because it won't be on any other service, which is not the case this year. So it'll be interesting to see how the numbers do next year when it's the only place to watch it. Because when Hallmark Channel gets a better 18 to 49 demo than you, it's time to start rethinking your branding.
Yeah, it's I just hope they smarten up and realize they need to. What made it pop in the first place was the stuff that got applied on DC Universe, not the CW crap that we got to put up with so many of the other shows. So like, you know, not necessarily the romance crap. We don't need that. Just the CW and E-ness that comes with a lot of that stuff. I think some of the episodes were longer with the DC Universe, obviously, because we didn't have to worry about commercials over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be found on CW. Like I said, I just don't want the quality to go down in terms of like the fights and stuff like that. And I just kind of want them to let the brain trust with the show to keep going. Because like I said, they very much know their niche and they like to stick to it, but that hasn't always benefited them. And like I said, again, this is them doubling down on the superhero content because they're cutting other stuff off. And it feels like the only other thing that they have on their network may be that the In the Dark show about that young blind lady. Maybe some other stuff like Roswell, and thank God they still got All American. But other than that, it seems like all superhero stuff. So I just hope that they don't let this fall in the cracks like what we got with like Batwoman the first season. Like just let Stargirl do what it's been doing, and let your audience come to it, and don't let the shippy bastards dictate where you take that show.
As Ashley Banks said, mind your business. Just mind your business. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few months because a lot of shows are pushing back their premiere dates until January.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing's getting a second life. maybe only temporarily, but Swamp Thing will be airing in the fall on CW.
Yeah.
There might, like, think about this. If that show does well enough in the ratings, while all the contracts have been let go and some serious finagling will need to be redone, that show could find a second life by accident. I'm not saying it's a definitive, but if it starts pulling in 2.5 million viewers, if it gets like a 0.8 in the 18 to 49 demo, CW might launch their own Swamp Thing series. There's not a hard series to do. You just got to get someone who's going to sit in that suit all day.
No, I mean, they need some more supernatural stuff on there as well. Like I said, outside of just the superhero stuff, because while, I mean, obviously Swamp Thing has those ties, he very much could be on some sci-fi type of stuff. And like, again, to continue to diversify that content, something like Legacies, Swamp Thing, to keep that going. But yeah, I mean, I think the benefit with the Swamp Thing situation is, I think a lot of those actors would like to continue that series. Like you said, it is a lot of finagling because these actors have to move on because it's like it's gig to gig. So like you said, some finagling would have to be done, but they'll be crazy not to, if that does well, which I hope it does, not to try to, get that back into production. Obviously, without whatever pitfall happened with that mishap that got it canceled the first time. But yeah, I hope it does well because that's a show that definitely deserves multiple seasons.
I would like to see more Crystal Reed.
Oh yeah,
she is on many of my favorite things in the world. Not shows, I mean just fantasies. She's gorgeous. She's 2 years older than me and looks 12 years younger. That's more of a shot against myself than anything, but still. I think Auto Freak fucked up because they already said everything you need to know about season 2 of Swamp Thing, and I'm like, I don't think you know what's going on. Sorry. This fucking... All right, so it says the series first premiered on May 31st, 2019, and here's everything you need to know about season 2. Sadly, Swamp Thing will not be seeing a second season. Why do people write articles? You're terrible at life.
That's a if that wasn't just outright like absent-minded stupidity, that's a dick move.
that is a dick clickbait. Click dick bait. Because you're baiting the click, but you're also being a dick. Speaking of being a dick, let's talk about Doom Patrol.
Nice.
So, some of the details from episode 2 and 3 are a little scarce because I watched these. When was it? Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
So in episode 2, the Doom Patrol find out that there's a individual who can control and manipulate time due to a helmet. At least that's what they're led to believe. And it's a device on his face, and I think his name's like, what, Dr. Time with a Y?
Yeah. what was the liquid? Timinium or something?
Timinium. Don't let it touch you. And I think the funniest part about it was... they're like, you have to, tell us what you're doing on June, of whatever year. And, like, who was it? Jane was like, I was sleeping. And Rita was like, I was painting. And Cliff was like, I was asleep. And they didn't go anywhere. And they all just looked at Cliff because they knew that he was lying. And Cliff's like, all right, fine. I was banging the waitress in the, closet of a something. And then they vanished off to this waypoint where everyone is fucking dancing to disco music on skates. Oh, it felt like a nightmare. And Dr. Time's like, I traveled all around the world, and the only time and place that I ever felt truly, good was, January 18th of 1980 on the intersection of blah blah blah, and it was a fucking skating rink. So that's what he turned his eternity into. Is just a skating rink, and they're all just dancing to Bad Girl. which was not something Cliff was all right with. So they end up trying to take off his helmet, and Rita grabs it and yanks, but knocks him down in the process and cracks open his head. And it's revealed that the mask helmet thing isn't actually a mask or a helmet. It's literally his head. So Niles was all like kosher with them killing a dude to get his fucking superpowers. We're into some shit. Marcus, thoughts on episode 2? Momentarily lost Marcus, apparently. So, I'm trying to think of what else was the minor plot point with episode 2. The revelation of Niles dying was also kind of dropped on us. Something that poor Dorothy was trying to wrap her poor little monkey paws around. So the idea is to try to get Niles to be able to sustain his life long enough to figure out a cure, because Niles' whole point in life anymore is to outlive Dorothy. So we're now at a point where he's willing to do anything and everything he can to do that, and it includes apparently killing a time god, apparently. So after he busts his head open, Rita remembers to kind of dial back the hands on his face to reverse time. I don't know how she figured it out. I don't remember how she figured it out, but she was able to put 2 and 2 together, and she was able to kind of do a little finagling to keep him alive. They end up getting kicked out, but when the brain popped out, everyone went running for it, and Cliff and Crazy Jane made contact with it, and they both saw visions of their potential future and past. Jane with some kind of weird-ass exorcism, and Cliff with seeing Niles essentially, in his perspective, taking the brain out of Robot Man and potentially replacing his own with it in order to stay alive. That doesn't seem to be the logical end of that storyline. I think more than likely what's going to end up happening is he's got a second body for Cliff. And what we saw is Niles taking Cliff's brain out of the first body and putting it in the second one. But, of course, if you only see a segment, that's all you're going to get. When Marcus gets back, we'll ask his opinion on episode 2, but we'll go on to episode 3 where we meet, I think his name was Red Jack. So, apparently, there was a time and place when Red Jack and young Niles met. And Red Jack was also the person who was considered to be Jack the Ripper. So he comes calling for Niles and offers Niles essentially immortality, but Niles ain't too happy about that, so he, does what every supervillain does and tries to kill him. But Red Jack ends up getting, chopped down, if you will. All the while, Crazy Jane and Cliff go down to Florida to see Cliff's daughter, which ends with the daughter calling the cops on Cliff because Cliff's a giant robot. Obviously, it's just not anyone's day. Just not anyone's day at all. There's a subplot with episode 3 where Cyborg meets a new woman, and they start to have a connection. She's a former Army vet who took an IED, I think she said, messed up her legs, scarred up all over her body, and she and Cyborg have, relations. But Cyborg ends up, kind of being a little afraid to kind of engage any further, and the two end up parting ways at the end of the episode, which sets up episode 4, which might have been the craziest, ballsiest, psychotic episode I think we'll ever see. Essentially, in episode 3, poor Dorothy is holding Danny the Brick and drops him by accident. He breaks, so in episode 4, everyone comes together, all the Danzians come together to try to fix Danny, and they pretty much conclude that the only way to fix Danny is to have a party. It works. Dorothy ends up singing, and the actress who plays Dorothy has a wonderful voice. And the singing and dancing was able to bring Danny back, but not heal him completely. So they continue their partying to try to bring Danny further back to, the world, I guess you could say. And at the end of the arc, Danny ends up revealing that he's not going to be a street anymore, and instead he's going to turn into a party bus. Danny the bus. Go figure. Throughout the episode, Rita's trying to regain or find ways of using her powers, and she runs into Flex Mantallo. And Flex says that one of the ways she can use her powers is by keeping her brain clear, keeping everything away from that, if you will. Not think of anything. But for Rita, she can't do that unless she hits the big O. So she asks Flex, "Hey, can you help me out on this one?" Well, Flex's powers are apparently magic based because the prolonged posing that he uses to bring Rita to orgasm, weird sentence to say, causes her to flash on a suppressed memory. So Rita asks Flex to go further, and it's revealed during the flexing, that Rita's mother slept with a producer to get Rita her first big role, apparently. And this kind of fucks with Rita a bit because Rita's like, I can get the role by myself, Mom. She's maybe 12 years old at this point. She's like, I can dance, I can sing, I can act, I can do whatever it needs to do to get the role. And the mother says to her, "You have other talents, my dear. Let me take care of this." So the whole ordeal kind of caused a weird sex demon with a periscope head to be drawn to this little kind of encounter. And the energy that Flex is producing causes sex ghosts to appear. And I wish I was joking. We also get a weird-ass fucking scenario where this demon dude's about to give birth to a fucking baby, apparently. So who shows up? The Sex-Men. Now, it sounds like the X-Men, but they're actually more like the Ghostbusters. So you can kind of put two and two together. Marcus, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Technical difficulties, but yeah, it's a hell of a thing, man. A lot of good stuff. Before we got to the section of it all, a lot of good character beats. Obviously, we got some of got a new character with Jane, and that was interesting because she's having a little problem with the underground. They're like, "Look, man, my first couple episodes, like, look, you doped us up. That was effed up, and you're letting those people up there hold you back. Like, we only exist to protect the little girl, and your shenanigans, specifically your shenanigans with them, are coming at a cost to us. So you need to get it together, or this whole concept of Jane, the one we've come to know as the primary, that whole thing is going to shift." So she basically got locked up this episode. We got a new version. That was the thing. Cliff got X from the doc, and
poor Larry.
Larry is just having all kinds of, and he had a great exchange with Rita on the last episode because at this point he's at his wit's end. He had to, he went to his son's funeral. He couldn't check in with his family. He had a he's just going through it. In his mind, everything he touches dies or just goes to shit. So he's like, "Look, man, like, y'all need to stay away from me. I need to go." And, we kind of got the reveal of what happened when he first came to the manor. Him and Rita really bonded. And he was kind of there for her at a real interesting time. It's like, we don't throw, I forgot the words exactly, but like, we don't throw misfits away or something like that. Something to that effect. She did the same thing for him here. Now, I don't think that's going anywhere romantically, and I don't think it needs to. I think that friendship, to me, is means more. But yeah, he's having a real hard time. Like that exchange he had with that dude that might have been interested in him when you asked him about his bandages, hilarious.
Yeah, if I take them off, everyone's gonna die. They'll melt, and the guy's just like, "Okay, have fun." Disco Stew is cutting loose. The other part of the episode, we saw Dorothy having to deal with the Candlestick Maker. She rejects the Candlestick Maker, though. And at the end of the episode, after Dorothy is just brokenhearted, that poor Danny doesn't, he's gone. She doesn't want to get locked up again. So she's just kind of broken at this point. And Rita, is like just passing out next to her. Rita had a hell of a night, apparently. She had all of the orgasms possible. But during that little, while she's falling asleep on the staircase, Dorothy goes, Rita, were you telling me the truth before when you said I was pretty? And Rita kind of more or less, in her own little haze, not really aware of what's going on, goes, you have other talents. Yeah. Which is not what that little girl wanted to hear. And then, of course, she tries to respond to the Candlestick Maker, and he basically goes, sorry, new number, who dis?
And that the Candlestick Maker is being a candle dickhead right now. It's funny because I was thinking about this ahead of us talking about. I'm like, this really could come off like. I mean, obviously it's superhero based, but it could come off like an action comedy, but really it's like the show is a psychological thriller with some action beats in there every now and then. Because think of the psychology just between that exchange. Like we were about to get to Dorothy, but like that whole thing of Rita saying you got other talents, that goes back to that revelation she saw. Mm-hmm. Because that whole thing, she was asking her mom, she was like, am I good enough for the part, or this, that, and the third? And she was like, focus on something else. There's other things that you're talented in. So even for somebody that's exclusively stuck in the time I guess she sees herself best in, on top of what she saw with her mom, she's all kinds of screwed up. And that's on top of the fact that she, her emotional state basically controls her powers. But then you look at Dorothy, she's said to be 12? She's really 4 or something.
She's 11, but she's 103/4.
Yeah, she's 11, 103/4. She wanted to be an adult in this episode, so she got makeup from
Rita.
Rita was trying to be an adult, was basically being father checked by both the chief and Danny. She's on that, having to deal with the fact that wrestle with the fact mentally that her father is probably dying. She might be able to do something about it, but it's forbidden to. Then you get to the fact of letting go of the illusion that a safe haven, which she viewed Danny as all those years, was actually a prison. And she was literally about to destroy Danny because the Candlestick Maker was like, if you help with this guy, you're just gonna go back, right? So she almost destroyed Danny. Then Danny left. Her dad's dying.
Cliff's high on fucking PCP.
Yeah, Cliff's high on PCP. She can't really be the adult she wants to be. She can't really do a lot of the stuff. And that little last part with Rita saying basically, just focus on other stuff. So now she thinks she's not pretty. None of this stuff adds up to high self-esteem for a young woman.
No.
And the fact that she literally, in Niles' interpretation, could literally destroy the world. Oh, this is not going to end well. In a house full of psychologically broken, both mentally and physically misfits in a lot of ways, she was the brightest spot, and now she seems like she's in the exact same spot they are. That's crazy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You got a little girl who's got some super fucking powers, and you done did this one there, Chief. You done did this one. So, do you have any opinions, comments, questions, concerns about the first, the second and third episodes before we move on?
No, I mean, I dig it. I think they're setting up and they're keeping it in a lot of ways, and I guess we'll talk about this in an instance if we talk about My Hero. But they like I said, I like the fact that they're letting the repercussions of last season settle. Even the stuff with Vic, which seems kind of separate, that even just that little exchange that he had with Morally Corrupt, love that name.
That's a great name.
In terms of not only talking about the situation that people like more or less still have to deal with in the world, which is where we are right now, and juxtaposing that to how he feels in himself, and how he kind of reflects that on the young lady he's interested in. Like, by the way, outright stole Static's tagline, but it's cool.
Wait, what did he say?
He was like, "Look, man, I don't like I dig this girl, but you know, she's completely different to me, but I can't stop thinking about it. She's a shock to my system."
You know,
So that was
I wouldn't mind if he's like Zetus Lapidus.
yeah. uh, Classic. Zoom, zoom, zoom. But
Go boom boom, a supernova
exactly.
girl.
Damn, that could have been a great number to play at the party. But
Turns
yeah,
out Dorothy, the 100-year-old monkey girl, big fan of the Xenon.
big fan of Xena. I love that. But yeah, like I said, I like they kind of letting that settle in, like, and the whole thing about the chief, like really coming to the fact that, man, I've effed up with my daughter, and I definitely effed up with these people, which is why I think he's trying to, I guess, get some type of recompense with Rita and Cliff. I don't know what he can do for Jane except try to be there for her, because her whole situation is completely different. But it's kind of cool to see that, and it kind of feels like we're on the clock now because he's gonna be getting older by the episode.
Yeah.
So it's we really on the clock, and the fact that there's no takesies backsies with old boy that he did to deal with. That's definitely gonna be a thing. So I'm digging it so far.
What was the name of the new character that Jane produced? Scarlet?
It's not Scarlet Rose.
Scarlet Harlot.
Oh, perfect
That's
name
what
for
it
that
is.
episode. Perfect name for that episode. And ironically, she was the one that. Well, it wasn't Scarlet Heart. It was Jane that freaking undelivered a baby.
I thought that was Hammerhead. I'm pretty sure that was
Might have been
Hammerhead who
Hammerhead.
did it.
Yeah.
Because she had
Yeah,
the chest tattoo, and I think Cliff even said, Hammerhead, you did it! Give me a
it makes a lot of
hug!
sense. And Hammerhead will be the one fighting the endless wave of orgasms. Makes sense.
Yep, all to save the baby, or the little girl, at the cost of a baby. This was a weird episode.
The fact that this show topped live asses with legs. Come on, man.
Marcus, you're underplaying it. It's live asses with legs that ate people by exposing its rectum. Oh, that takes eating ass to a whole new level. Let's move on to speaking of ass, let's talk about Batwoman.
Yeah.
That show is terrible. We do have a new Batwoman, however. It would be... I seriously wish she was just reprising the role of Kate Kane, because I'd like to see how they write that one in. Kate, you're black? How'd that happen? Shrugs. So the new actress playing Kate Kane is... Marcus' name is... What?
Javicia Leslie.
Javicia Leslie. She is a out-and-out bisexual, so they did cast another individual to play the role who is queer. Unfortunately, I don't know what she's in. I've never seen Javicia Leslie before that I'm aware of. You've said she's amazingly talented, and I do take your opinion to heart, so I'm gonna fully believe that. Unfortunately, the show is still trash. I would not be surprised if this show does not see a second half of season 1 or season 2. Especially with the fact that production's being pushed to January, making me think that most shows will only have anywhere from 12 to 18 episodes in this upcoming season anyway. So I could see that this is the end. Like, this could very easily be the end of the road for Batwoman. Can't say I'd be too disappointed about it.
Yeah, it's funny because you saw I guess there was a lot of uproar on Twitter when they decided to not go with Kate Kane, just outright replace Kate Kane and keep going where it was going. Specifically, people like you and me and others who thought the first season was utter trash. Um, I think to me, and maybe this isn't it, but I like to believe they knew exactly how bad it was, and it was like, this is the perfect opportunity for us to do like a soft, medium, hard reboot, completely ditch that character because apparently, I'm guessing, so I hear, take this with a grain of salt, like she wasn't the best. Ruby Rose wasn't the best to work with on set because I'm guessing she wasn't necessarily down with the full load that came with being the lead on the show, only one of these superhero shows. And I'm guessing she kind of uttered that she could go back to movies, which I'm like, you really wasn't that prominent there, but whatever. So they seeing this as an opportunity to kind of, like I said, kind of right the ship. It's just gonna be interesting how they gonna have to do it because, like I said, that character, so many other characters on that show were so ensconced in being in Kate's orbit. The dad, who was the chief of the private security firm, the girlfriend who had legit history with Kate at a school, the sister who was the best person on the show, and they're supposedly bringing back Bruce Wayne, who is like, how you gonna do that now? Because that's the whole cousin dynamic is gone. So, like I said, it's gonna be interesting seeing where they go with it. Like I said, I dig the actress. I don't know if she's gonna get the proper support from that writing team. I just hope that she's ready for the load that's gonna come with it. And like you said, we're gonna see what's gonna happen because a lot of people talking a lot of noise. We're gonna see if they gonna back it up and not support the decision by not watching the show, or they gonna get on board. But I don't know if this is good enough to right this ship of this show. I think it's ran itself into the ground. I think it's kind of spit on the whole bad legacy. And as much as I like a lot of actors that's on the show that also happen to be of color, they could be doing a whole lot better to me. So
it's disappointing that this move was made on this show.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it having legs beyond a season 2. I've been saying since it was greenlit for season 2 that the only reason it was more than likely greenlit for season 2 was because it was cheaper to run out a bad show with bad ratings than it would have been to try to replace the time slot, at least at this juncture.
Yeah.
But I think of a show, Marcus, I don't know if you've ever watched it. It was called, what was it? Johnny Depp did a remake of it. Let's see. Yeah. It's like...
Well, it's kind of like a dark gothic show type of thing.
Yeah. Like, it's like on the tip of my tongue. Dark Shadows.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dark Shadows was not a good show when it first started. It had bad ratings. It wasn't something that people glommed onto. But then they introduced a character that was only supposed to be a reoccurring character for, I think, like the end of the first season by the name of Barnaby, I think is the character's name. And the show ended up finding brand new life to the point where it ran for like 1,000 episodes. Granted, they shot like every day because like they treated these shows like a stage play. So they, quick turnaround times to getting the show live. But it saved the show and it gave it a second life to the point where it was remade into a movie in 2012 or whatever it was. So there's a possibility that this chick comes in, fucking flings her hair around, pops her hip out, and be like, "I'm Batwoman, bitch," and everyone's like, "Yeah, she is," and then like the ratings soar or don't suck. Or maybe just stay the same. And CW goes, we've literally had COVID-itis for like 2 years now. We can't just we got no money. We're doing a season 3.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
I'm right there with you. Like I said, I dig her as an actress. I watch her on a BET show, and I've seen her in a couple other things. And she's a really good actress. Like I said, my only issue is like that writing team. Like they're so focused on the sexuality of the character instead of just writing a good character that just happens to operate within those realms of sexuality that, and maybe they've been clunked on the head and kind of realized that completely different character that they can go in a different direction and allow this actor that can actually act to carry that, which in a lot of ways could change the dynamic of the show. But I just feel like they trained so much of that audience that actually did like the show, um, to kind of lead with the gay, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That something not going in that direction may be a detractor, but at this point, I mean, like you said, the ratings are what not even in the millions. Um, at this point, are barely scraping it. So all they can do is go from up. I mean, go up from here, hopefully. So, like I said, I'm happy for the actress. Hope she's ready for everything that comes with it, including a lot of the backlash from I'm guessing a lot of racists that don't like the whole agenda that they feel is going on, and hope she kills it. Like you said, it could happen. So
I mean, it won't, but it could. The problem with this show is that it's always going to be the fact that it's on a network that caters to basically bubblegum type of content over hearty meals. It doesn't want to give you anything sustainable. It wants to incite flame wars and debates on ships. It doesn't want to do anything beyond that. Yet here we are. I'm still staying the fuck away because it's coming soon. Boys season 2. But everyone's super fucking hyped for trailer 2 of The Boys season 2. And I'm just sitting here going, CW will never have that type of hype because they would rather have 14-year-old girls saying we are the Flash than anything. So I'm kind of just at the point, Marcus, where I don't trust anything CW is doing anymore.
I dig it. I hear you, man. Like I said, it becomes so blatant, and we've matured out of just mentally, specifically, of just like, oh my God, I always wanted this, so nothing about it can be wrong. We're no longer in that space. We're no longer in a space of just because they put all these so-called comic book heroes that they brought to life together, anything they do is good. Like we're not, but that's a lot of their base, and they play very specifically consistently to a lot of their base. But we're like, look, man, we done seen The Boys and other stuff that's it just executes this stuff better. Watchmen was really good. I know that wasn't necessarily your cup of tea, but that was executed really well. And a lot of other shows that did more with a lot less. We praised. It'd be so cool that we could still get freaking Dark Matter.
Mm-hmm.
For as complicated that show got at times, that was executed really well with another great cast. And but yeah, they just so blatantly agenda driven. I get it, it's the PR of it all, but ultimately you're gonna see a lot of drop off. Like the Flash is still hanging in there, but they damn near had to come in and reshift how they did everything. Thankfully Eric Rollins came in and did things a lot better, but losing Arrow and Legends kind of just doing whatever it wants, which is better because it doesn't necessarily have to box itself in like the other shows. But I don't know, man. Like I said, it's you got to get real nitpicky when you get on the CW, as opposed to you go to something like Amazon or Hulu, which man, I wish that stuff like The Tick was still going because it was so obscure. It was great.
God, I
But
missed that show.
and even stuff like and Powerless got good towards the end. Like we found the beauty in it early on, but that was another show that wasn't allowed a chance to really breathe. And God rest his soul, they brought in Adam West, and it was just I wish we had some kind of way we could get these shows back and put them on one network and let people kind of fall in love with them like we did. But everybody wants those immediate numbers so fast, and with how TV works, and with how everybody's in competition now for who's got the best shows consistently. It's just it's hard for a lot of shows to find space.
That's the unfortunate truth of the matter. Here's hoping that because of the issues with CW actually getting shows on the air, that they go back and put Powerless on. Who knows? Maybe Swamp Thing and Powerless could find new lives on the CW. Granted, I don't know how they would do Powerless in the format that it's in, because it's a 22-minute, multi-camera sitcom. But I mean, I'd be all right with it, So let's talk about the Archie community. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust, and another one bites, another one bites, another one bites the dust, yeah. So, despite Riverdale apparently being, like, the dream come true for the CW, the ratings for that show have tanked. After season 1, which was admittedly a big ol' success, because it did all right on the network, but it did super great on the fucking streaming services. They're like, we're in the big business now. Let's do some big business stuff. And they're like, yeah. So season 2, they upped the ante and killed the show. And then they're like, you know what we're gonna do? What are we gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do spin-offs. I like that. We're gonna use some of our biggest characters and do spin-offs. I like that. We're gonna do Sabrina. The kids love the Sabrina. Melissa Joan Hart, Talking Cat. Oh, they're gonna love it. Yeah, and we're gonna make it super dark and depressing. Well, I don't love that. And we're going to give it to a character actress whose only role that anyone ever knows her was being an obnoxious, unlikable character. Can we revisit that last one? And then we're going to put on Netflix. I don't like this at all. And then we're not even going to do regular seasons. We're just going to put them out whenever we're done. Can I go work on Supernatural now? I think we've lost the gate on this one, guys. So, shockingly enough, we are now at a place where after 28 episodes, 4 parts, not even season, parts, and after only being in existence for a year and a half, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, much like Katie Keene, it's over. It's done. Walk the plank, you're done. Take a long walk off a short pier. High five a supernova. Make your heart go boom, boom, because you done. You lost the script. And here's the worst part. I knew this was coming. This show had no hype. No one was talking about it. There was no one tweeting out GIFs. There was no like, oh my God, the new season dropped. What did you expect? Marcus, have you actually watched this show?
Sabrina, no, not one episode. It just looked
bad.
Like I can get off certain aspects of what that show brings, but like just full on with it and I'm good on all that. But I'm not really big into witchcraft anyway, so yeah.
Well, being from Louisiana, I would assume that any type of dark magic might be a little bit more unsettling down there. After all, you are your region is the birthplace of Baron Simity. I don't even want to speak his name because he might come for me. I've seen that movie of James Bond. James Bond couldn't kill him. He kept coming back.
Like I said, I'm not really into witchcraft stuff, but I love those Hex girls from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I am a fan of the Hex girls. By the by, new Scooby-Doo movie coming out. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. It's going to star Elvira and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Guess who the villain is, Marcus?
Oh.
The Scarecrow.
Oh, that's bad. By the way, if anybody wants to laugh or just feel better about themselves in any sort of way, go watch any of the clips from Bill Nye on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, is it terrible?
That would have been an improvement.
Oh, no. He's Bill Nye. How could he not win that season? I'm so mad right now. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like, the biggest issue that we've had as a society is that Bill Nye was nowhere to be found for 20 years. Like, where'd you go, Bill? Where'd you go? I'm looking up his Dancing with the Stars season. I need to know who won. I have to. Keyshawn Johnson was the first one eliminated. That sounds about right. Who? Oh, Amber Riley of Glee. Okay, that makes sense. She did a lot of choreography on that show. Corbin Blue. Okay, these were ringers. Come on. Corbin Blue became famous because of his dance moves. That's like me saying, like, who's going to win Who's the Best Dancing with the Basketball Player Challenge? Oh, and our stars are Danny DeVito and LeBron James. Who's going to win? Oh, gee, I don't know. Is it going to be LeBron James? I think it's going to be LeBron James. Oh, I didn't see it coming. Jack Osborne? Like, who can... This is not Dancing with the Stars. This is Dancing with the barely... Oh, Christina Milan. How are you? How you doing? I remember you. John Tucker Must Die. I'll be your John Tucker, baby.
Oh, man.
I remember that movie. What else was she in?
Christina Milian?
Yeah.
She also was in that movie, with specifically the beginning of it, Matthew McConaughey, with Girlfriends of Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Mm-hmm.
She was in. Obviously, she, we got introduced to her through her music. She was also on this Netflix movie where they was fixing up this. She won this house that she had to fix up with this guy. She also had a reality show. But yeah, she's always been very purdy, as you would say.
She very pretty. She very pretty. She wasn't in John Tucker Must Die. Who was? Oh, it was Ashanti.
I think that was
Yeah,
I'm surprised. That might be too much. Like, they might be giving her 10s just for her, her physique. Because, Jesus, she is oatmeal personified.
She's oatmeal personified because she's got all the right lumps. She's not. She. Woo-hoo. Now I'm trying to remember Ashanti's playlist.
Yeah, because if you go to her Instagram, I might never hear from you again.
When I go full Muttley, we've gone we've become problematic. Oh, okay. Rock With You. That's where I remember. And Break. Okay. I remember her stuff from Chapter 2. I'm not too familiar with her first album. That's my bad. But speaking of my things, let's talk about My Hero Academia.
My Hero.
So I completely forgot that we were only on season 4 because there was such a big break for the longest time between episodes. I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely on season 5 now. Nope. So like it started to go all wonky around episode 14, and then there was a gradual release, and then there was a big old break between episodes 23 and 24. So it kind of fucked with me a little bit. Not even gonna lie. Hell of a season though. I think at the end of season 3 we met what's his face, the All Might clown, Mirio, the All Might clown. And we didn't get a lot of him in season 4 as a hero. But we did get a lot of him in general. I would say at the detriment of the rest of the Class 1A crew, because like there was a lot of the secondary and tertiary characters we didn't get a lot. Like we didn't get a lot of Bakugo in season 4. No. Like the only real centric episodes that we got were like, hey, you and Icy Hot, you got to go play patty cake with kids.
Yeah, because you need to get your license game up, which, in a lot of ways, I mean, to me, when you look at a character like Bakugo, that moment he had with that kid, to me, was worth a season. Was almost worth not getting a lot with him because it was such a clarity moment for that character. Now, you remember the moment he had with that kid telling him, if you only rely on your own strength and go boss some people around, like, you won't, if you always got your nose stuck up at people, you won't ever smell your own stuff.
Yep.
And for a character like Bakugo, that's like going back to DBZ when Vegeta finally admitted that Goku was better. That is huge for a character like that. That's almost worth a whole season's worth of an arc for one character. just that moment with Bakugo.
So let me ask you a real question. Because now you brought him up. Vegeta's my spirit animal. He's 4'11". I feel that.
You have a far better hairline, by the way.
What's that?
I say far better hairline. Though. I don't know what's going on with that cow lick from hell.
I don't even think that's hair. I think it came out of the womb that way. It was streamlined. So, better scene. Vegeta saying that Goku is better. Or double dose. Vegeta screaming and crying, I want to be a Super Saiyan. I want it. Or when Trunks died, my baby boy. Because for me, I always like the funny. I'm just saying.
You're such a cheater. With this, you go throw in the Z, and then you go throw in the bridge. For me, of course, we're going with one of the abridged options, and I got to go with the Super Saiyan thing because it was such a sticking point, and it fits so perfectly. And in that moment, he had gave up. In both versions, like I'm done with this. I don't want it anymore. And then they kind of just flip it on his head. I want. Ooh.
My other favorite part is Piccolo like, don't worry, Vegeta. We'll bring back your baby boy. And everyone walks away, and there's just a couple seconds of silence. You fucking better. Vegeta, you are my spirit animal. So we got to meet Eerie.
Yeah.
What an adorable... What is up with 2019, 2020 introducing the adorable little girls that are kind of monstrous? Eerie has a giant demon horn, and then, of course, we have Dorothy, who's literally a monkey girl. Can't even make that up. Weird fucking year. Eerie, though, is just all sorts of adorable, but her powers pretty much accelerate everything around her to the point where even Deku was like, the only reason I'm not dying is because this fucking overhaul asshole is just kicking the shit out of me. But I do like that overhaul, like, you know, he's this big bad villain, just can break everything apart, and then they just fucking doesn't hand in the face guy. I forget his name. Doesn't he just like straight up Shigaraki?
Yeah. Toga the Shigaraki. Yeah, Toga the Shigaraki. Yeah.
Doesn't he just like straight up kill him? Or does he just kidnap him?
Oh, you talking about towards the end?
Yeah.
That was such a badass moment. I actually rooted for them in that moment because of the payback that he got. They basically crushed both his hands and took all his crap. So they crushed both his hands, so his powers are done. Because obviously, you know, he got to touch stuff to move it. And one of them, obviously, because they killed one of the guys, obviously in that what that was last season, yeah.
No, that was start of this season because it was the raid on the warehouse.
Yeah, you're right. Because they killed he killed one of
the Big Lips guy.
Toga. Yeah, Big Lips guy killed him. Then he took old guy's arm, the Warp Gate guy.
Yep.
So Toga got it back for the Big Lip guy, and then the other guy took the other arm. So now we're really even. And then they took the freaking quirk booster. And obviously the heroes got Ari. The old dude is still in a coma that he put him in. So he was like, they literally left him completely ass out. He's sitting there armless and hopeless. And I was like, you know what? For everything you did to that girl, like I was straight Dexter Laboratory to them.
Mandark. We went full Mandark. Honestly, like if one of my guys got done like Big Lips dude was in episode 2, I would have done the same thing. Shigaraki, you ain't Vegeta, but maybe like a spirit shadow. Because if someone took Marcus's arm, I'd like, Marcus, I brought you a new arm. It's still dripping. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's, yeah, and likewise for Chad. It's like I'm gonna steal the line from Vin Diesel when they killed. Got to use thick quotation marks now for that universe. When they killed Han, he was like, "You'll get revenge. Words ain't been invented yet." Lies, lies.
So can we just already automatically agree? The third one's the best, right? Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo.
I'm not kidding. The only one I'll ever rewatch is Tokyo Drift. Lucas Black. Y'all, I'm now in Japan. Okay, Lucas Black. Can you leave your southern drawl in Friday Night Lights, please? My God, it sounds like you're sipping molasses while you talk.
I love how Tokyo Drift is Venom for Chad. Like how other people love Venom, it's all utter garbage. Chad's like, to see this kid try to beat it for an entire movie with Bow Wow as his best friend.
I mean, listen. It's better than Be Like Mike.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's just for me, Han and the whole father angle is what sells. Plus, Jonathan, nope, the older brother from Home Improvement was in that one.
Oh yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, Zachary Tyler Bryan, I think.
We don't get to see enough of those, but to the youngest one. Did he keep acting?
The youngest of the three brothers in Home Improvement, he ended up marrying a woman who's like 15 years older than he was when he was 18 or 19. And he kind of had like a mental breakdown, apparently.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the youngest one, he really lived up to his character, because in Home Improvement, his character was like exploring gothism and fucking all kinds of weird shit. So like,
oh yeah, he did start exploring gothism, man.
Yep. Jonathan Taylor Thomas still acts on occasion. I don't know what Zachary Ty Bryant, that's his name.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I think he was in some like 2 or 3 years ago, but that was it. I'd like to see them come back. I would, Tim Allen may not be everyone's favorite person at the moment, but I would 100% be down for a Home Improvement revival. I'd watch the shit out of that show. Full stop. So anyway, back to My Hero. So the season really kind of picks up, and we get really 4 arcs, I would imagine. Although I'm sure technically that's not right. We had the ramp-up arc, where we met Overhaul. We had the combat arc, where the crew went and fought Overhaul. And he ended up being like the scariest motherfucker I've ever seen in an anime. And I thought, All for One. Right, yeah, that's right? One for All? No, All for One. He's the bad guy. All for One's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All for One. I thought he was supposed to be the big bad, and then all of a sudden Overhaul is looking like goddamn demonic fucking Furby over here. Scared the shit out of me. Like, what the fuck? And fucking All for One doesn't even have a face, and you're more terrifying than he is. But then after that, we had what I like to call the Gentle arc. And I really thought that Gentle Criminal should have been right? That's his name, Gentle Criminal?
Yeah, Gentle Criminal, yeah.
He definitely should not have been arrested. He should have been a hero. I'm hoping they bring him back.
I know a lot of people feel like they got like the season dropped off a cliff after that, but to me, the beauty of My Hero is this ebb and flow. Like the whole fact that the season started slow, like you said, it's the ramp up arc, because when they finally got the Chisaki in that showdown, it was epic. But you need those kind of building blocks. Now after we got off that, which again, you didn't think they was gonna top what they did with Deku going 100% with. I mean, he went straight One Punch Man on oh boy. But and it was epic. But you're not thinking they're gonna top that. You would be wrong. But the kind of coax a little bit with and get the Gentle, but even before that, like those moments we got where Kirishima was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like he got some real good growth this season. Like we got this whole backstory why his hair's red, why he calls himself Red Riot, his motivations, confidence issues, all that. Like we found out we got some good stuff with him. Then we get the Gentle, and this is coinciding with Deku getting a power upgrade and a gear upgrade, if you will, with his glove, which is helping him develop his Delaware Smash Air Force. And then you get the backstory with Gentle, and it's like, oh, this finna be whack. It was one of the best things all season.
Yeah, I dug it.
I think it was great. Like the whole thing with La Brava. Like my only thing with that was I wanted to know how old she was, because she looks and came off like a kid, but in anime she could be fully grown.
She could be like a baby doll in Batman.
Exactly, 100%. Like the whole concept, and they fought, and Deku comes to the conclusion like he was the toughest person I ever fought, and somebody looking at him stupid, and then he says, fans could probably be like, yeah, no, he's not. What about Muscular? What about all these other guys? He's like, no, it's because I could have turned out exactly like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he messed up and got shunned. Like I didn't have any powers at all, and I was damn near got myself killed several times and endangering other people because I couldn't control my quirk. I could have ended up just like him, and like that's some real psychological depth right there. And then you look at like the whole concept of Gems. He wasn't a real criminal. He was more mischievous than anything.
Well, he was like a less violent icicle. Like his desire wasn't to be a criminal, but to wake up the cities to be better. So like there was a real nobility about him. And I think that's why I appreciate him, because he wasn't just a bad guy. Like he wanted to make the world realize, because like wasn't his whole desire to cause a new hero to be the new hope, like to be the new symbol of peace? Like wasn't that his whole plan?
No, that I think I'm trying to say somebody was. It's funny because you go back and Stain is still talked about, but go back to the whole thing of him wanting to hold people to higher standards. I think he kind of had that same thing, because he was basically setting up situations like the either set up actual criminals or catch them himself.
Mm-hmm.
But his whole concept was he just wanted like I guess the heroes to do better or whatnot, because like, he couldn't be one. So let me be a hero in a way by being the bad guy, perceived as the bad guy. But his intentions were good. It's just that the way in which he would have about it, specifically when it came to the sports festival, would have completely ruined everything for those kids. And Deku's resolve, because specifically he was thinking about Ari at that point. It's like, dude, you can't come anywhere near this festival. And I'll run myself into the ground to stop you. And then that whole thing with LeBravo's love quirk, which took him to a completely different level. Like his quirk was already cool, specifically just because of how he used it. But then you get that love up boost, and he really was one of the biggest threats he ever had. So that whole concept with that fight and seeing Deku use his shoot style, that whole thing was cool, man.
I looked him up on the fandom Wikipedia. So it gives them they're out of 6, power 3 out of 6, speed 4 out of 6, technique 4 out of 6, intelligence 2 out of 6. That's a little harsh. But on Loving T, he's a 5 out of 6. I don't think the Loving T's on every single character profile. I'm just saying.
No, it's not. And it kind of looks like, to your point, it kind of looks like, in a lot of ways, Deku does have that Goku factor where even against the most terrifying of villains, like he imprints on them in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gentle almost got inspired, like, because like Stain, Muscular, like other people that have fought Deku, they're like, oh, this kid's like a real genuine. He's like the real McCoy when it comes to his ideals and what he wants to be as a hero. I at least got to take him serious. So for him to see Deku and like kind of, cheer for him, and he even tried to save him. Like he kind of like, the guys are coming to get me. You go away. Let me stand up for La Brava. Like the guy's a real noble dude. Hopefully, he can come back and maybe like, I don't know, be a mentor or something, or like him and La Brava like recruit people to help, because she's like an anime Felicity. So she definitely can keep a job, So hopefully, he can come back, because I think a character like that down the line could be a real great callback for the show.
Okay, so this is great. I looked up Hound Dog just out of curiosity. Same 5, power,
Yeah.
speed, intelligence, technique. But then it says canine loyalty, 5 out of 6.
Hilarious.
And then for La Brava, I looked her up as well just to see. She's listed at 22 years old.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so it's not
She's
creepy, but it's definitely
Yeah.
still creepy. So, the season ramps up, and really, like, after Overhaul's defeated, we had the the breakdown period where the other kids had to go and do their remedial work, and Deku was healing up,
Yeah.
and Eerie was healing up, and we also lost Night Eye, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so like that was that arc, and then like we had the festival arc, which was great.
Yeah.
Because it was all about giving Eerie that first smile, and she had a great time. That was the best part of the fucking season. And then like there's like one episode left, and I'm like, all right, there's an episode left. Like what is it gonna be?
And I
Fucking one
wrapped it
episode.
up with Chad. I'm like, dude, you have to see it.
I'm like watching this last episode, like there's like, all the villains are gone. What's left? Fucking Marcus hyping this shit up over nothing. I feel like Will Smith being duped into something by Carlton. Oh, we're going slack shopping. Oh, I can't wait to buy new slacks with my penny loafers. Turns out it's an all-girl orgy and we're the only 2 men invited. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. So the episode kind of starts with everyone getting their new rankings. Turns out the angel hero that everyone was talking so much hype about is a giant D-bag. Woohoo. And, of course, number 1 is Endeavor. Don't fuck with Endeavor. I also like that Ed shot finally showed up for the first time all season. I like him.
Yeah.
He's a ninja who turns into paper.
Yeah.
Just
Great. Shout out to all the thick brown bunnies out there as well.
thick brown bunnies. Thick brown like. Ooh. I'm lost on the reference.
She was one of the heroes on the rankings.
Oh,
She was
okay. I'm googling the rankings right quick.
Rabbit hero.
Oh, that's right. The Rabbit Hero. I remember her. She's thick. I like that there's a washing machine hero.
Yeah, I don't.
Right? Like that one just like, what? Huh? Rumi Usagiyami, the Rabbit Hero. That's some thickness. I like that her quirk is rabbit. So we get the hero rankings, and then the angel hero. I'm going to look up his name real fast just so I know.
Hawks.
Hawks?
Yeah.
So Hawks is like, hey, Endeavor, let's me and you go do the thing. And Endeavor's like, all right, I guess I'll try to be friendly. This will be new. And no one liked him being friendly, so he's like, well, that fucking sucked. And everyone's like, yeah, you should just go back to doing the thing you were. And he's like, yeah, but I did that, and my son hated me. Oh, don't worry, your other son and daughter hate you too. Well, that's reassuring, thank you. But then it's revealed that, the other siblings of... What is Icy Hot's real name?
Shoto Todoroki.
Todoroki. So Todoroki's siblings go to visit their mom. And there's a lot of backstory that's kind of dumped on there. Right? The other siblings don't like their father as much as Todoroki doesn't. But the father's been sending the mother flowers every day she's been committed, apparently, because he still loves her. Kind of making him not a sympathetic guy, but maybe there's more to her psychosis than just his fault, which would be interesting. Because it would definitely make this a bit more realistic. Not to defend him, but if you're constantly dealing with a certain madness and you can't get past it, you too would snap. That's human experience. But it does kind of give Endeavor a bit of a new light. And then all of a sudden, a Nomu pops up and attacks Hawks and Endeavor while they're eating lunch, I guess. And Marcus, I rewatched this part of the episode 30 times. when they're looking out the window and Hawk's like, uh-oh, I went back and looked. I looked again. I fast forward. I rewound it. I didn't see anything. There's nothing there. And then all of a sudden the no move pops and he's like, what's up, bitches? So we find out that Hawk's powers is that he can control wings, little feathers, I mean. And they're part of his wings, but they don't actually connect to anything, so I don't know if they're actually part of anything. But he can control them and attach them to him and send them out when he needs to. And he has complete control of them. Pretty nifty power, but not exactly, as he says, a combat ability. So Endeavor's basically left to fight this souped-up steroid Nomu on his own. And Hawks is doing all the best he can to try to save people around him and everything. And fucking Endeavor's getting his shit kicked out of him. Like, he loses an eye at one point. Maybe not permanently, but he's definitely fucking going Cyclops on that one. He's fucking, his fire's going out, and, like, he's barely keeping it together. And everyone's watching, and Todoroki's kind of, like, shit in the bed, if you will. But, like, something happens, and all of a sudden, Endeavor's just like, you know what? Fuck All Might. I'm going to do this my way. And he straight roasts Nomu by taking him into orbit and, like, roasting him like a duck.
The freaking prominence burn, man. Like, he debuted, because I saw this move, because I saw the film. I got my hands on the copy, and I was like, okay, that's new. But he debuted a new outfit at the rankings, which is sick. It was like total pause. When the Nomu first showed up, he hit him with Flash Fire Fist Jet Burn, which is a new move. That was sick. But this Nomu, like, because I think his name is High End, and that is a perfect name for him, because he really is like a souped up version of like the Nomu that All Might fought. It can think, it can talk, it can obviously regenerate, but it got some other powers mixed too. So Endeavor's going all out, like Chad said. And one of the best moments of this fight, because I watched this episode at least 30 times. It's that good. And the moment where, like, the Nomu was like, you stopped attacking me, what's going on? He was like, because the minute he showed up, it's like, who's the strongest, bitches? And then the devil like, oh, you want strong? I'll give you strong. Like, the animation in this episode was premier. Some of the best they've ever done. And then freaking the devil goes, like, this bastard is smart. He was like, my Flash Fire Fist condenses my heat and intensifies it, but if I overuse it, I'll get overheated and my body will start deteriorating. Overheating has always been a problem. And then they do this great flashback. He was like, it's what drove me with each of you. And then they did, like, showed each member of the family, and then they showed this epic shot of Todoroki on ice and fire. An entire breakdown of this man's mental through all these years we've been dealing with it. It was like, why the freak would he F over his family like that? And then you get the whole concept that he wanted to be the strongest. He saw All Might as somebody who had to be surpassed, and he gave up everything in his life to do it. And the whole concept of creating Todoroki, which we kind of knew, to kind of surpass all his limitations, even in the fact that him still trying to be number one and him actually being forced to be number one actually got him to the revelation that he needed to be better. All that in this episode. Epic. The whole, him taking Nomu up in the air and it's like, you are like a version of me from the past or a distant future. Burn up. Be at rest. That whole thing. Like, not forgiving this dude for nothing he did, but giving us a window into understanding the method behind the madness and seeing, like, him try to turn the table off, trying to turn the tables over, and naming the episode his start. Like, this was perfect execution of an episode of an anime.
I completely agree with you. It was done flawlessly, I thought. Especially considering how little time they had to play this story out and how effective they were at doing it. I think this was the least we saw of Deku in an episode, actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, because like him and everybody else, they were basically witnesses. I mean, those little great shots of Todoroki, fire coming from his left side. That was cool. But I think even more so, like, just he had like a poignant moment because we basically spent a lot of season with him and that whole thing with Ari. But that moment where he just like turned to the TV at the end, he was like heroes can't slow down just because All Might's gone. We have to push forward even harder now and carry his symbol, and we will. Like that great shot they did to him, and it's kind of like I told you. Like I think a lot of times people got wrapped up with All Might, and that flashback that Hawks did saying that everybody else looked up to All Might, he looked up to Endeavor because he was the only person that ever wanted to surpass him. A lot of people, heroes got comfortable, and villains kind of they knew they couldn't do more because All Might would always show up.
Mm-hmm.
So the only person that was really the head that was All For One, if for no other reason that he wanted him dead because he basically ruined his entire organization. But everybody got comfortable, and now that All Might's done, everybody got to kind of reshuffle their importance. And Endeavor getting pushed into the thing, like him asking them, watching Todoroki and Bakugo at that festival with those kids, like, what does it mean to be a symbol? And he basically tells them, like, dude, you kind of got to define that and figure that out for yourself. I can't tell you, like, I was just doing what I thought people needed. I just wanted people to smile, so I put it on, and I smiled through every possible thing. And then you think back to his final fight, when that great line from Gran Torino, when he didn't have no power left, but he still popped up swole with that fist in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And Gran Torino was like, don't bother him. He's still working. And then you get, because friggin' if Endeavor did his finishing move in that city, that whole city would have been gone. And he comes down and he lands like a freaking meteor, and the fire goes out, and his fist is in the air, the opposite of All Might's, and he's just it was so epic. Like I made it my profile background on Twitter just because I love the show, but that was just an epic shot. But yeah, we like you said, it was the last little thing we got with Deku, and but we did get an end credit scene.
We did?
We did get it. Oh, you didn't see it? Okay.
I might have. I don't remember it.
It was Deku was having a dream.
Was Belly Button Dude outside his room again? Oh, you said dream, not a nightmare.
That was so creepy, Jesus. I ain't wiped that out of my mind. No, it was leading into something. I'm guessing they're going off into in season 5 with Deku, and basically the wielders of One Fall, and he had kind of like he had this very intense dream. So I'm gonna kind of let you go back and see that because I don't know if you watched that. But
was it like all the eyes like watching him while he slept or something like that? I vaguely remember something.
They basically showed it looked like the brothers. It looked like All For One and his brother, and then they had lined up the previous wielders of One Fall.
I think I did see that.
Yeah, and then one of them looked at Deku and was like, "You're the 7th." I think it was All For One's brother was like, "You're the 7th," and then he woke up, glass shattered, and his hand was glowing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to episode. I'm looking forward to season 5, whenever it comes out. We are partway through I guess it's the school festival arc, or is it? No, the Pro Hero arc. That's the one we're partway through.
Yeah.
So we still got another back half of this arc. Apparently, Dobby's supposed to be a bigger threat in this one.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely always interesting for us because we don't read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we love the dub, and shout out to the crew, like the guy behind Endeavor in this episode, like the voice acting was top tier, but specifically the guy Patrick Seats, the guy behind Endeavor, just killed it. And shout out to those voice actors because they had to record what kind of took so long. Well, obviously primarily they had to record these last couple episodes from home.
Mm-hmm.
So, kudos to them for getting that pulled off like that. I would imagine some people threw their voice out, but they got it done. So, me and Chad specifically and another lot of other people, we always appreciate that work because Dub just, hearing that Dub with that episode took it to a completely different level. It was already epic, but it took it to another level.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's all I got for you guys this week. Marcus, do you have anything else?
No, no, that's about it. I don't think we both keep an eye on this whole Ray Fisher thing, but that's tentative right now because apparently he kind of got to walk a tightrope with what he can and cannot say. Uh, People probably shouldn't get too over the moon with Janelle Monáe and the whole Storm thing. A lot of people say stuff in interviews. I think we kind of need to unanimously slow up on the X-Men right now. At least get the damn New Mutants out. I mean, I feel like that movie is in the seventh son hell, where it's like 4 years too late.
You are the seventh son of the seventh son of the seventh son of the seventh. All right, I get it. I'm the seventh son of the seventh generation of sons. I get it.
I feel like that poor girl from Game of Thrones filmed it while she was still on Game of Thrones.
Oh God, Maisie Williams. Yeah, she's all like 15 in that movie. She's like 42 now. Good luck, Ray Fisher. I'm hoping you take down that Joss douchebag. J.K. Simmons is offering to do reshoots for the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut's going to be awesome.
No, it's going to be so sick.
Oh,
apparently, I saw somewhere else, too. There's somebody mentioned something that there is a director's cut or an extended version of Batman Forever. Wherever that drops, send it to either my email or the website's email. or Chad's email. One of them. We need it. Not the Batman and Robin. No extended to that. Unless it's exclusively Mr. Freeze. But the Forever extended. Send that to us.
Yes. We will gladly take all of the extra Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey interactions that you can give us. Especially if there's more bangers like, your entrance was good, his was better. The difference? Showmanship. That movie came out in 96, I think. 95. I was 10, 10 years old. Yeah. Marcus was 6, 7.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, even at 9, I knew that movie had that great line. Like, even at 9, I'm like, that's a good line. Maybe not everything else, but that's a good line.
Hey, Two-Face, show me how to punch a guy. Oh, it's simple, my boy. Draw back. Oh, your fist, reach way back. And the searches.
Then fucking goes up to one of the henchmen. No, the bank manager or the diamond case manager. And he does it and punches him. He's like, ah! And he starts like doing the fist kind of whap where he's just like shaking it off. Oh, it's just, oh, God, it's so good.
And Drew Barrymore was hot in this movie the way, peaked in hotness in this movie to me, the way Cameron Diaz peaked in The Mask.
Oh, God, Cameron Diaz in The Mask is like, I will say this, Nicole Kidman in that black dress that she wore in every scene, apparently. Tom Cruise, you lucky fucking bastard. Anyway, realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. We're on Instagram at RealNerdCorp. Although the account's been a little inactive because my phone just doesn't work that well anymore. So not this month, but at the end of August, I will be buying a new phone, and the Instagram will be off and popping. And it will also be an awesome possum, but that's neither here nor there. You can find Marcus on his personal Twitter account at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
You can also find him on his other podcast, The True Prenny Show, at True Prenny Show on Twitter, TruePennyShow. The podcast can be found over on Podbean, Spotify, and iTunes. Search NerdCorp on Spotify and iTunes and Real NerdCorp on Podbean. We're also on my personal Twitters, Chad NerdCorp. I know what mine are. ChadNerdCorp, as well as the Instagram Chad's Photo Hut. But if you need anything, you can do so by going to the website at realnerdcorp.com. It's the one-stop shop for all things NerdCorp. Check it out. It's there. So for Mark Screen, I'm Chad Portal. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember to read more comics, although we didn't talk about any this week. And as always, we'll talk to you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m., right here at twitch.tv/Comic and GameCorp. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, mate.